Born in 1932, Paris, an only child in a successful middle-class family, Jacques Chirac would grow up to become a member of France's Communist Party for a time, but then his advanced studies in politics and national administration would set him on a different path. In 1956, he married Bernadette Chaudron de Courcelles of the Parisian high bourgeoisie. After volunteering to fight in the war in Algeria and inspired by Charles de Gaulle, Chirac's career in politics began, winning a parliament seat as representative for his home Corrèze region. His political mentor, President Georges Pompidou, made him Minister of Agriculture in 1972 after his handling of several other briefs. Then appointed Minister of the Interior, next President Valéry Giscard d'Estaing entrusted him the office of Prime Minister in 1974. 2 years later, he resigned. Over a disagreement with the president over his authority, and developed his political base among France's various conservative parties. He founded the party Rally for the Republic to compete in elections against Giscard d'Estaing. In 1977, Chirac was voted mayor of Paris. His 18 uninterrupted years in that position prepared him to run for president. He tried in 1981 but was beaten by the socialist François Mitterrand. He did, however, become prime minister in Mitterrand's government in 1986, and they worked together for 2 years. This power-sharing arrangement was unprecedented. While Chirac managed domestic affairs, Mitterrand held sway over defense and foreign affairs. Mitterrand won a second term as president in 1988. Chirac all this time remained mayor of Paris. When finally elected to the presidency in 1995, Chirac vowed to reduce the gap between rich and poor. He resumed French nuclear weapon testing in the Pacific, riding out international protest. At home, Chirac introduced austerity measures to take France into the euro, which triggered major strikes in the winter of 1995-96. In 1997, he dissolved Parliament, aiming to consolidate the Conservatives' hold on the country, but instead the Socialists triumphed in elections, and Chirac was forced to share power with Lionel Jospin as Prime Minister for 5 years. Chirac was re-elected in 2002 after a ballot in which Jospin failed to do well enough so that the voters had to choose between either Chirac or the far-right candidate Jean-Marie Le Pen in a second round. In round one, Chirac's unpopularity stood out, but the Republic defeated Le Pen, and Chirac gained domestic favor with his strong opposition to George W. Bush's push for war against Iraq. A serious setback came with the referendum result in 2005 against France ratifying the proposed treaty for a European Union constitution. Also in 2005, the accidental death of 2 youths fleeing police in a poor Paris suburb triggered violent clashes, and Chirac declared a state of emergency. He also had a minor stroke in that year. In 2007, as expected, Chirac said he wouldn't seek a third presidential term. He didn't endorse any of the candidates, but Nicolas Sarkozy would take his place. Chirac set up a Sustainable Development and Cultural Dialogue Foundation in 2008 and then successfully published his memoirs. As president, he had enjoyed immunity from prosecution over corruption allegations during his time as mayor of Paris, and he was now dogged by these proceedings. He went on trial in 2011 accused of paying salaries for non-existent jobs. Found guilty, a prison term for a former French president was a first, but it was suspended. Jacques Chirac last appeared in public in November 2014 at his foundation's prize-giving ceremonies at the Musée Branly in Paris, also attended by Socialist President François Hollande in his honor.